Hey guys, welcome to the Winning Culture Blueprint. It's Monday, right after 4th of July. I'm glad to see you here. Kind of a interesting weekend, but also a rough one here in Texas. A lot of stuff going on with the weather. And last time I heard, over 90 people had lost their lives due to flooding on the rivers in South Texas. So we all pray for them, pray for their families, that perhaps they even find some more people that, have held on. And, it's kind of rough. My wife actually went to that camp as a child and told me lots of stories about the owners back then. Dickie was there then. He passed away trying to save some of the kids. And unfortunately, we've heard a lot of rhetoric this week that's been very bad, negative feedback. But just hope you guys can pray for the families and the people that have lost their lives. Today, I want to talk about trust. And I started off with the somber rhetoric here. Let's lean into trust and trust in teams. And a lot of times you'll hear me talk about Patrick Lencioni's 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. It's one of the workshops we do at Peak Executive Solutions to help teams go from being really dysfunctional in some ways to being more cohesive, where they get things done, not just for the senior leadership team, but also for the people that work in their plants, in their organizations. And so Lencioni talks about the 5 dysfunctions of a team, but I'm going to talk about it in a different way. I'm going to talk about the 5 traits of a cohesive team, so more in the positive light. But the first trait, and really the foundation of a cohesive team, is to have trust. And we're going to talk a lot about trust today, and I'm going to dig in a little bit deeper there. But the other 4 things, rather, about a cohesive team is that they are able to have healthy conflict. Number 3 is that they're all in on the commitment to team one. They hold each other accountable is number 4. And finally, they focus very intently on the results that they're trying to get. So let's go back to trust. Trust is the foundation that allows people to have that healthy conflict, to be able to commit, to be able to hold each other accountable without it being a bunch of infighting or silos, and to be able to focus on the results. So how do you create trust? How do you create that foundation of trust in your organization, or really anywhere, whether it's a church, whether it's your business, whether it's your family? And the first thing is to have transparency and vulnerability about things that maybe you don't always get right, admitting your mistakes. And I've heard it in so many organizations from managers who like to tell a story about how it was back in the olden days, but how it was when they were leading in that position, how it was basically perfect. And frankly, folks, people don't care, right? Maybe tell a story about a time when you didn't get it right, when you didn't get it perfect. That kind of leadership, that kind of transparency about not just when things are perfect, not just when things are just right, but perhaps when things aren't just right, when maybe you got it wrong, like, hey, admitting to your mistakes. And the second thing that creates trust is empathy, understanding your people and where they are, meeting them where they are, understanding perhaps some of those interpersonal things, and not just telling stories about what's important to you, but maybe talking to them about what's important to them on that interpersonal side, whether it's their family, or maybe they got something else going on in their life. And then finally, being consistent, and not just consistency and your systems and processes, but how you show up, right? Does your team ever wonder which version of you, which version of Brandon are they going to get? Are they going to get the hummingbird who's flying around, being positive, trying to create space for them to be creative, finding space for them to do their job better? Or are they going to get the a-hole Brandon, the one that shows barking orders and not listening well? And so When you think about all of these things together, it's really what creates that foundation of trust that leads into those other things that we talked about. So create transparency, perhaps tell a story about when you didn't get it right, perhaps admit that maybe you made a mistake or you're not always perfect. Create empathy, right? Show empathy. People are going through things. People are having a hard time, just like the story here in Texas, right? Think about the things that are going on in their life and be consistent, not just with who you are, but what you do, the habits you have, the follow up. How do you react when there's bad news? And I think when you create that foundation of trust, it opens up that opportunity to have healthy conflict, to allow people to commit to the overall mission of where you're going, to hold each other accountable without fear of retribution, and to focus on the end results that are going to essentially make all the things you're trying to do come to life. I hope this helps, and I hope that you are having a good day. Create trust, create that foundation to build your business on, to build your house on, to build your church on. And we'll talk to you later.